And I'm going to hold. Oops. I'm not going to compromise that with you because I wouldn't want it to be compromised with for myself. You know? I was held to account with this mostly by Greta, who was like my mother hen. Many times she would come up to me, like stand an inch from my nose. She was slightly shorter than me, but she would stand right in front of my face. And she'd be like, "You have more life in you." She's Dutch. I don't do a good Dutch accent, but she's like, "You have more life in you than this. What are you waiting for?" She would really, really like screw me to the wall, and she wouldn't let me get away with just being mediocre. She wouldn't let me get away with just reading this from like meh, meh, meh. When you read this with total passion, when you read this with something deeper than you're reading it now, everyone here is just going to burst into tears and joy and laughter and happiness. You ready? That's why we're here. This is the inner circle. This is the place where we've admitted to ourselves, I'm done with my bullshit and my mediocrity. I'm done with all that. I'm joining this Zoom group because I want to get my ass kicked. I want to have a miracle. I want to have something happen that's not of my own making. For everyone, it's going to look different. For you, it looks like this. Breathe. Breathe. And I know you're going to have every other thing coming up in there. You fucker. Go on.
Above all else, I want to see.
There you go.
Recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am. I realize that vision is my greatest need.
Yes.
The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made.
Good. Feel.
If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this of myself go. As it is replaced by truth, vision will surely be given me. And with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love.
Do the next one.
Above all else, I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance.
Yes.
While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind the world be open for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God.
Next one.
God is in everything I see.
Yes, there it is. Go on.
Behind every image I have made,
Yes.
the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes, in my will is my will. United with the will of my Father, God is still everywhere and in everything forever. And we who are part of Him will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all.
Good. Now stay there. Stay in that place where you're at right now. Bethleen's going to read the next one. You feel it in Bethleen. You ready?
I don't have my book.
Oh, what? What is
Sorry.
this week? Can somebody lend Bethleen a book? Who else we got? Ida, let's go for it. Oh, Anna's there. Hey. You don't have your book either?
I have my book.
I could do
Go
a
for
share
it then.
screen so people could read it.
Can you send the PDF, Donna, to Bethleen?
I'm about to.
Okay. Yep.
I can get my book. Hang on.
All right.
All right. Ida, you do the next
I'll
one.
put it in the chat too.
These are the technical glitches in salvation where someone forgets their book. There's always something.
Which lesson?
Okay, so do I do it?
Go on, Ida.
Okay. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind,
Good.
in my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack, is the knowledge that all is one forever. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It has kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts. And I, who am among them, am one with them and one with him.
Good. Dean. You have to turn your microphone on. Dean, you have to turn your microphone on.
Aha. Can you hear me?
Go for it.
I'm lesson 31, is it? Sorry,
Yes.
lesson 31. How can I be the victim of the world that how can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I can drop them off merely by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would give up my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last.
Good. Bethleen. Bethleen, when you're ready, you have to turn your microphone.
Sorry, what paragraph is that?
32.
32.
I know less than 30. Okay, 32. I have invented the world I see. Today, we are continuing to develop the theme of cause and effect. You are not the victim of the world you see because you invented it. You can give it up as easily as you made it up. You will see it or not see it as you wish.
Okay,
Well,
so Bethleen, we're doing the reviews.
Oh my gosh. So I
So
was
it's
on
lesson 57. Lesson 57, the second
Okay.
one. That's me.
that was just a little bonus.
It's all right.
Lesson 57.
You have infinite patience.
Bless you all. So this is 32.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I have invented the world I see. I have made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need to do is recognize this and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him, and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be, and not where I thought to hold him prisoner.
Good. Michelle.
Thank you. There
We have your-
is another.
Michelle, can you put your camera down a bit? And same with you, Dean. Some of you guys are like the top of your head.
Better.
Yep, that's it.
There is another way of looking at the world. Since the purpose of the world is not the one I ascribed to it, there must be another way of looking at it. I see everything upside down, and my thoughts are the opposite of truth. I see the world as a prison for God's Son. It must be then that the world is really a place where he can be set free. I would look upon the world as it is and see it as a place where the Son of God finds his freedom.
Terrible. Thank God it was terrible. If it was perfect, you wouldn't need to be here. Let's do that again.
There is another way of looking.
No, stop. Become known as the Heidi complex. Ready? See how good you feel now, Heidi? You feel grounded and like in your body. You got to learn that it's okay to feel how that is. We're so good at pretending that, you know, everything's up here and missing out on what's down here. I can feel, you know, you feel authentic and good, and I don't even know if that's the right word, but just, you're beautiful. It's because there's a moment that happens and we learn to stay and live in that moment. Michelle, it's your turn. Go for it. Take a breath. Take a deep breath. It's not, close your eyes. It's not about the words on the page. It's got nothing to do with what you're reading. You could be reading Guinness Book of Records. It wouldn't matter. You ready? Take a breath. Invite the Holy Spirit in, like fully. Let that invitation be heartfelt. I need help. I need help to read this lesson. I need help to even connect with what I'm reading here. And you can't hide from me, especially because I know you, like, personally. We've been doing this together for a while. You know, like relationships, when you're in a relationship with someone and you know when they're full of shit, you know when they're not, you just kind of know it in your bones. Right. My bones are rattling. Breathe and do this.
There is another way of looking at the world.
Yes. Yes. Stay there. Look, you got Heidi going now. That's good. Wendy's joining in. Ready? Feel. That's it. Yes. Come on, John, join in. Feel it. You ready? Let go of that mind. You've already made the decision to join. You've already made the decision to enter in. That's what you're doing here. Now let's be about our Father's business. Now let's have all of that passion that we've been trying to suppress express itself through the doing of these simple lessons. This is just practice. This is just kindergarten. Breathe. John, I'm talking to you directly. This is kindergarten. Breathe. Don't defend yourself. Let it in. Let it in. Feel the touch of God on your heart. Feel the grace. Yes. Woo-hoo. Yes. Good, Michelle. Good. Breathe. This is awakening. This is what it looks like. It's not about the words on the page. Ready? Feel. Connect. You know, it's only me that disconnects myself from the flow of life. It's only me that chooses not to be a part of it, that chooses somehow to remain separate. And you know, I'm very devious and cunning and good at that. Every tick of the clock, I'm looking for a better way to say, fuck you, God. Every tick of the clock, even doing these lessons. Never don't think that for a second that the ego is not completely and utterly insane. It is. Breathe. You ready, Michelle? Let's do the lesson. There's a thing there for you right about now. Yes, there it is. Doug, good.
There is another way of looking at the world.
Yes, thank you.
Since the purpose of the world is not the one I ascribe to it, there must be another way of looking at it. I see everything upside down, and my thoughts are the opposite of truth.
Yes.
I see the world as a prison for God's Son. It must be then that the world is really a place where he can be set free. I would look upon the world as I see it, and see it as a place where the Son of God finds his freedom.
Good. Do the next one.
I could see peace instead of this.
Wendy, feel this. Wendy, feel this. Go, Michelle.
When I see the world as a place of freedom, I realize that it reflects the laws of God instead of the rules I made up for it to obey. I will understand that peace,
Yes.
not war, abides in it. And I will perceive that peace also abides in the hearts of all who share this place with me.
Wendy, do the next one.
My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. As I share the peace of the world with my brothers, I begin to understand that this peace comes from deep within myself. The world I look upon has taken on the light of my forgiveness and shines forgiveness back at me. In this light, I begin to see what my illusions about myself kept hidden.
Yep.
I begin to understand the holiness of all living things, including myself and their oneness with me.
Thank you. All right, good. Has anyone not done one? Annie, have you done one? You want to do one? Oh, she's done one. John's done one. Ida's done one. Everyone's done one. All right, let's leave it there. But this 20-minute book seems to be taking like an hour and a half or something, isn't it? So I think part of the play out of this. Oh, Anna, you haven't done one. Where did you go? Hang on. Rewind. Anna, let's have it. Where's she gone? My screen's jumping around a bit. Oh, she's disappeared again.
Yeah, we're at
Trixie
the
Roberts. I can't see my thing here. Oh, Johnny's outside now. Oh, there he is. I don't know. I'll be coming to visit you in a couple of weeks, John.
Oh, that'd be awesome, brother. It'd be great to see you. We missed each other through COVID time, didn't we? Great to see you.
For a millennia.
Yeah, seems that way.
All right, where's Anna gone? There, I don't have her.
This is Johnny from up the road.
Yeah, you guys should be hanging out. What's going on?
Yeah, I actually haven't met him.
Hey,
Claire
Annie.
told me about him.
Anna, how come your camera's off?
Anna.
It's
Hey,
not.
Anna's
Love to
disappeared.
catch up
Oh,
with
there
you.
she is. Good.
No, it's on.
Okay, let's go for it. No, she's gone again.
All
Oh,
right.
Sharon, can you turn your camera off or leave the meeting,
I'm talking
please?
to her right now. I'm trying to.
Okay. All right. Anna,
You
we should-
ready?
Yeah, your camera keeps going
No,
off.
your camera keeps going off. Do you have a technical glitch? I know you're in this, so I'm just going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
No,
there.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's probably going off because we're at the emergency room.
Ah, okay.
So I'll just go ahead and read. And if the camera goes off, I don't know what to do.
Okay. Good.
All
Yep.
right. My holiness envelops everything I see. From my holiness does perception of the real world come. Having forgiven, I no longer see myself as guilty. I can accept the innocence that is the truth about. Seen through understanding eyes, the holiness of the world is all I see. For I can picture only the thoughts I hold about myself.
Good. Stay there in that place. That's it. Just let that happen, Anna. Just let it happen. Don't worry where you are. Feel it. Just let it occur. It's just energy, if you want to call it energy or light. It's dark light being released to its natural state of being, if you want to look at it that way. It's a compressed idea that you've been attempting to maintain that's being slowly pried loose from the confines that you've been attempting to imprison it in. The dark recesses. And it's like this gets in, this course gets in. You can't do this course and not have some kind of experience. So usually at the beginning, the experience is always upsetting, always painful, always confrontational. And if it's not, you're not even doing the course properly. You're not doing it right. It's got to be in your face, right? Jesus has to kind of slap you around a bit to make you pay attention to what's actually happening, not what you think is happening. Okay? That voice, that ego voice, he says the ego always speaks first. It's like that's always going to be the case. Just because you pick up A Course in Miracles doesn't mean the ego is going to go, oh, okay, see you later. It's going to fight all the way. It's going to kick and scream and no, that's not for you, that Course in Miracles. You've got other things you can do, blah, blah, blah. And it'll try to distract you. It'll try to keep you in this kind of malaise of connecting with yourself, this kind of deep-rooted insomnia. I don't know how to talk about it. It's like when you know that something just shocks you to your core, all of a sudden you feel alive, but 99% of the day you're walking around in this kind of test pattern, waiting for something to come along and go, whoa, you know, like nearly getting hit by a car in the street, something like that, and it just shocks you into life, into full awareness. You're totally present. You're in your body. You're grounded. Bam. Right? That's how this makes me feel 24/7. I'm just totally passionate about it, totally like in the flow of it. And it's like extending that through the certainty of my mind because of the experiences that I've had with this course into the time, space, whatever, continuum. And all of you who I've denied my love to show up to give me the opportunity to extend in a way that's the most efficient and most useful in this world, which is through the teaching learning portal. I'm gonna call it a portal for a second because it's like this is where we come into that has no reference point for a worldly gathering. This is a total out of time portal. And if you stick around long enough, I guarantee you that something is going to occur, not of your own making, that is going to not only show you the value of the portal and of the coming together, but is going to put you into another whole frame of reference entirely that you didn't even think was possible. like the part of mind, and I want to get to some good stuff today. I don't want to be about all the like, but you know, like you really have to understand how against your own best interest your ego is. It's like I can't emphasize enough that your ego is not your friend. I have hit my own head against the wall again and again and again, believing that I can do something without God, believing that there is some little tiny thing that I want for myself and not for myself and everyone. Like that selfishness, that manipulative kind of, you know, that's me. There's nothing lightened about trying to not be those things. There's nothing enlightened about pretending that you're not where it is you find yourself in the world as this ground grubbing piece of shit, really. Like yeah, exactly, Annie. Like stabbity stab stab. The Hindus have this beautiful saying. I was watching Annie, you might know this. Remember that series we all watched, and it was like the Sadhus or something, and there was like 6 different guys that they followed, and they all did these incredible feats of endurance and pilgrimage and all that sort of stuff. Do you remember that series? We watched it in with Ted anyway. But one of the guys that was in the series, they were interviewing him, and they asked him, they said, why do you have so many followers or something? Or what is it about you? You've got all these followers, all like the whole, like to the local village. He was their shaman, their holy man, and they like revered him more than anything. And he lived under a tree, right? He lived under a tree. He had no house or nothing. And his devotion, okay, to becoming the holy man for the village, because the village didn't have one until he turned up. He realized the need because they were all over the place. His devotion was to stand up for 6 years straight under the tree. Right now, throughout India, there's sadhus all over the place, mainly in the south, but who do all sorts of weird shit like that. Oh, in the north, yeah, sorry, in the north, who do all that sort of stuff. They go on pilgrimages, and he said, I'm not worthy to be the holy man yet. He said, I don't know why they're all making such a big fuss of me. He goes, I am lower than the shit that comes out of the arse of a snake. That was his place. That was his place of service. He was a servant to all mankind. His own sense of self in this world was lower than the shit that falls out of the arse of a snake, because he realized within himself that suffering was his responsibility. He's the one that saw it. Therefore, he's the one that's projected it out there onto others, onto the situations in the world and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't exist out there. You know, it's like you will no longer see suffering, pain, and death out there and around you when you have accepted atonement for it in your own mind. Okay? I no longer see it. I'm not saying people aren't out there suffering and whatever, but there's nothing in my mind that has an association with it. I'm no longer making it real to myself, because I've been through this process and am still going through this process of taking responsibility for what I see. If I see suffering, how is it that I know it's suffering? Because my thoughts are telling me that. Therefore, I still retain thoughts unlike the thoughts I think with God. There's no suffering in God if God is love and God is everything. Right? And this guy stood up for 6 years as part of his thing. And then after 6 years, he had a rope, I think, from the tree. He could hold on to the rope, but he didn't lay down, didn't sleep. After 6 years, he became the village shaman. Basically, he did a 6-year standing meditation. It's like he just knew that was his thing and had to do it. Each of you guys know you have a thing. Each of you have a deal with the atonement. All right. This Zoom meeting cannot not be a part of that, because here we are. There's no mistakes, no accidents. But each of you has something very specific, and you'll feel it in your heart that you must do. I'm not saying stand under a tree for 6 years, but There may be a connection you have to make. There may be a connection you have to let go of. There may be a connection. It's all about the connections. It's all about relationships, this whole thing. Okay? Your relationship with yourself. In each situation of the relationship you have with yourself, higher self, capital S, right? You'll see where it is if you're awake, if you're awakening, if you're aware, you'll see where it is you're willing to compromise that. In that compromise of the integrity of that relationship based on the purpose that you're now giving it to make it holy, right? In the compromise of that, which you have to compromise it, right? You don't get out of this without fucking it up, right? The whole way you get this is by fucking it up and by seeing that you're fucking it up. That's a good thing. Don't beat yourself up for fucking it up. Otherwise, you're going to need 2 miracles, right? You're judging yourself for a judgment. It's like, I need a miracle for my miracle, all right? We're God's, what was that TV show, the army guys, and they were like the worst platoon in the world and they always got everything wrong.
Nash.
Kelly's Heroes or something. Oh no,
Hogan's Heroes. I was just talking about it yesterday. And
I think it was Kelly's Heroes, and they were just like, they were terrible. They were just like the worst goofballs. That's us. Welcome to Goofball City, and we have all these ideas of it all together. You know, I've got all these ideas. Oh, I've got it all together. I'm cool with this. I can do this. I've you know, like I know where this is at, and blah blah blah. It's like, nah, forget about that shit. Come from the place where you are lower than the shit that falls from the ass of a snake, because that you can't go any lower. That's the bottom line. All right. If you can go lower than that, that little Hindu guy is going to atone for that lowerness. All right. We just have to worry about however low that is. All right. So in your own association with yourself, come from the place where I'm a servant to all mankind, all humanity, to the sonship. I am here to serve. If I'm the last one through the gate, so be it. At least I know that I'm in. All right. That place is an honest place. You can't have any false ideas about yourself from that place, because that place is a true place of saying yes. That place is a true place of saying, yes, I'm here, Lord. Yes, Father, I'm willing to be helpful. As soon as you put a little pedestal and step up on it, oh, look at me now, I'm spiritual. You're out of it. You're completely out of it, right? This is a total Mother Teresa, Gandhi kind of place, right? I don't know what your associations with Mother Teresa and Gandhi are, but to me, even though their perspective of things may be a little off this way, a little off that way, their heart and soul was in what they were doing. You know, they were totally in it. Right? We're totally in it. You guys are totally in this. If this is just a pastime to you, if this is just something you do on a weekend when there's a Zoom meeting on, then you need to really look at things, right? Because salvation is all or nothing, and we've been through there, and we're just gonna replay that for a minute, because it's really good to have the basics, right? It's really good to have the basics and to understand the basics, the foundations of how it is that your salvation proceeds along certain lines, right? So that the first line for me anyway is honesty. Not always easy to muster, because as soon as you're told that the first line of sight in this is honesty, it's going to bring up all those things you want to feel guilty about and keep hidden. But that's the point of this. That's the whole point of it. Finally, we're tired of hiding. We're tired of our excuses. We're tired of our guilt and everything. And we're saying, all right, I have guilt, therefore I must want guilt. I feel guilty for something. I must be asking for guilt. That must be what I'm wanting. You don't experience anything that you don't ask for. You don't experience anything that you haven't asked for at some point in time, right? And the entirety of that, the caveat to it being that you ask for the entirety of this out of time, right? You could either go down that rabbit hole and confront the entirety of it out of time, or you can just chip away at the iceberg through the catalysts that show up for you in this, in time, a little bit, one relationship at a time, which is what the course really is aiming at. But at any given tick of the clock, God is waiting for you to just say yes, totally, and let that be true for you. Until then, it's kind of just like, you know, we're practicing, we're having one little miracle, another little miracle, and building up enough faith. And that's fine. It's like, I have no clue how this is to work for each and any of you guys. I don't even know for me. I don't even know how this is meant to work for me. But I know in the moment what I'm given to know, because I'm in the flow one with all things. I know when Heidi's not being honest. I know when Michelle's not being honest, when Ida is sitting there wishing she was somewhere else. I know all these things. She's laughing. But somewhere in you, there's a call. Somewhere in you, there's something that's greater than you and me together, and it's directing this. All right, Wendy, you have to put more faith in that. The direction of everything that seems to be going on for you now is divine. I know you don't fully, completely recognize that as yet, but just try to stay in this. It's like the Holy Spirit gives you lessons to learn, not because, and some of them are big, you know, not because you need big lessons, but because you've reached a stage where you're capable of dealing with more. Okay. And it's always a step up. There's always a step up in this. And there's always going to be that apprehension. Oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to sort that out? How am I ever going to get around this obstacle, that obstacle, whatever? It seems to be bigger than the last. Remember that the miracle knows no order of difficulty. Okay. The miracle knows no order of difficulty. And each of you guys will see in progression as you go from this. You'll kind of like look back in retrospect and go, oh my God, I remember when I was a drug addicted alcoholic, blah, 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 blah. And now look, I'm done with all that and I'm at a clear place. How did that happen? It happened because you made a choice. It happened because you believed in the power of your mind. You believed in the power of your wherewithal to be able to make a choice and stay true to it in the moment where the temptation to deny the choice you made showed up. Because it always will. The world is never going to get off your back. The world is never going to be other than that which it is, where a place where you think you can come to experience separation, where you can come to be separate from God. It's always going to be that. But the more you work, the more you put in forgiveness, the less it's going to bother you that that's what it is. The less it's going to bother you how it appears, how it looks, how it shows up. Bomb going off at a train station this morning was the news I woke up to, and 500 people are dead, women, children, blah, blah, blah. It was the same to me, and I don't want to sound cold-hearted here, but it was the same to me as if the news headline had been flower children seen running naked through the streets in San Francisco. Oh, hang on. I just have to turn on my battery. One thing in the dream is no different to me to another thing in the dream. Okay? If it is, I still have work to do. Right? Illusions are illusions and nothing more than that. It doesn't matter how enormous or big in scope they seem to be, or how diminutive and you know, an illusion is an illusion. If I can see it with my body's eyes, it's an illusion. If I can think about it with my temporal thoughts, it's an illusion. The thoughts I think with God have nothing to do with the temporal association of meanings that I've given myself by which to structure the identity that I once called Dave. Even though I'm quite happy for you guys to still call me Dave, I don't see myself as that anymore. I don't see myself as even in this body, and I don't really even know how much time I have left. Not much, I'm guessing, but that would just be a guess. Who the hell knows? but it's like there's a place in each of you where when you say yes to it totally, you're in the river of the flow of life. And everything you need to know will come to you in that moment. Everything you need to know will be available to you for the asking. Oh.
Well, he had less
That
time than he
was
thought.
it. Exactly. Let's give it a minute.
I think when he turned his battery on, he didn't actually turn it on.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a minute.
It's pretty funny because it's actually nearly 1 o'clock too. So do you usually just go for an hour with Dave?
No.
Oh, right.
Goes for at least 3 hours most of the time.
I think he had just said, and I don't know how much time I have left.
Exactly.
That's right. It was not much. And he said it's probably not much. It wasn't like Kevin said. It wasn't much. It's good for me. I had to go at 1 o'clock anyway.
Oh, funny. Well, I'm gonna wait. So I think he's got a bit more time for me. I need a little more time.
I'll give him a call and see if it was a battery thing.
That would be sweet.
Probably still sitting there talking to the dead computer.
No, he saw it. He saw it, man.
Oh,
Did
okay.
a little ant before it went off. He's, oh, wait a minute. Today's Friday, right? So this is not
Friday for us.
and I was looking to see what message that was from him. No.
There he is.
Told ya.
There we go. I have my trusty old iPad, which probably doesn't have much. Oh no, I have 100% battery. Hang on. You guys practice being quiet in the mind for a second. I'm just going to rearrange things. Breathe. All right. I think we're back. I have to do.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. I've got the tall, skinny camera again.
I see you.
Yeah, just gotta. I don't know how this thing. Well, anyway, time and space, everything always corrupts and runs out, and you know. So that place in each of you, it's like it's not just in this Zoom meeting. I'm just trying to figure out. No. Tina, on your iPad, do you know how to get where where you can see everybody?
You won't be able to on your device.
Okay.
You're gonna have to scroll.
Okay. I'll have to scroll.
Go to. Well, I'm sorry. Do you have a gallery
No,
view?
okay.
Are you on speaker?
Yeah,
Looking at yourself.
I'm in it now.
Okay.
All right. So you really have to like understand. It's like part of the doing of this is understanding how the ego affects everything. You can't really begin to make profound changes until you can see that you're responsible for those kind of thoughts that have brought you the ill effects that you're pissed off about, you know, the relationships, and you'll find it again and again and again. You know, if you change the landscape of your illusions, it's just going to show up in the next frame of reference, right? Because lessons repeat until they are learned, and failure to learn the lesson doesn't mean that it's just going to go, oh well, we'll let you off the hook with that one. It comes around because the lesson you're learning is to let go and let God all the time. It's not about trying to fix what's going on in the dream. It's not about trying to have a better life in the dream or a more successful relationships or more money or any of that stuff. It's about repairing the relationship you have with your whole mind. And it's like, not that you can really repair anything because there's nothing actually to repair. It's perfect. But your awareness of that is something that, you know, wouldn't it be nice to have that 24/7? Wouldn't it be nice to have a relationship that's just divine, whether you're talking to those you think are the closest to you or those far away? In everyone, my dearest friend, no specialness. Because that's the nature of relationship that you have in God already. That's the truth of you. That is the unconditional love that circumscribes absolutely every kind of expression that you have, whether you want to deny it or not. But because you have free will, you seem to think you can deny it, and you haven't really even yet quite worked out that free will's an illusion. You don't really have free will, because look where you are. You're at another Zoom meeting with another teacher, with another whatever. And it's like, I'm grateful for you guys, but it's like the place where the rubber hits the road, the place where the living this and the having heard it so many times and all of that. It's like, that's cool. That's got to happen. Is it happening now? That's all I'm concerned about. Am I happy now? Am I choosing for God now? I can't do it tomorrow. I can't choose for God yesterday. The mind training is always now, now, now. Here I am, here I am, here I am. Little ray of sunshine. Yeah, yeah. Jesus wants me for a moonbeam. All of that. He's not waiting for the end of the song before I become a moonbeam. He wants that now. You know, it's like the entirety of universal experience is here and now. All of it. Heidi, all of it. One of the things that I like that I read, we have a storm approaching here, but one of the things I like that I read many years ago is, I think I mentioned this to you guys before, Africa. What's that guy's name in Africa? Come on.
Nelson
represent.
Mandela.
That's the one. That's the
which
one.
African?
What?
Which
200.
African?
200 countries there. It's just like Africa. It's just a general
I
thing.
know. No, I mean, which African? You said that African.
It doesn't really matter. The guy that said
Nelson Mandela. He's
Your
talking about Nelson Mandela.
that's who I'm talking about. And he knows everything I'm talking about. She's my script writer. If you ever want to recap on anything I'm talking about, ask Annie. So Nelson Mandela, who are you to play small? Your playing small does not serve the world, so that others around you don't feel intimidated. Get out there and intimidate the shit out of people. Get out there and be the brightest light you can be. Who cares what happens? Like you just, like there's just an infinite possibility of things that can occur. And in your willingness to extend the light of your mind completely, any of those things that come from the miracle, which is what completely is, can occur, can happen, right? When you're half-hearted, when you're just like mediocre about things, when you're not being true to yourself in any given situation, all you're going to get back is the reflection of that. Is that what you really want? Is that where you're happy? It's like that's where the ego kicks in. Fuck that. Let's give it away totally. Let's give our heart and soul to our world totally. I don't care what occurs. Neither should you. Go to the grocery store and just tell that person behind the cash register who stands there day after day after day, "Hi, nice day, isn't it? Thanks for coming." Like a robot. Tell them that you love them more than anything for doing that job for you. They chose to come here to this world to play that part so you didn't have to play it. They're doing that for you. That guy that stands at the slaughterhouse all day, cutting the heads off chickens, he's playing that part for you. So you don't have to stand there cutting the heads off chickens. Thank you, brother. Thanks for doing that for me, so I don't have to do that. They're doing that totally because they love you. They're doing that totally because they love you. They're doing that totally because they love you. They've come from eternity, just like you have, to give you the experience that you asked for. I want an experience of separation. There's going to be chicken deheaders. There's going to be checkout guys. There's going to be all these shit things goes on there. Somebody's got to play those parts, but it's not you. Somebody's got to die, but it's never you. Now it's up to you to release them from that part by seeing beyond the illusion of the role you've given them in your own mind. Free them. Speak to them as if they were the Christ. Speak to your brothers, greet your brothers as if you are having a holy encounter, because that's what it is. Wherever two come together, God is with you. See it that way in your heart. Feel it that way in your heart. And if you can't feel it that way in your heart, ask for help. 2 in 10,000 will hear this. Breathe. Everyone is offering me an opportunity. Everyone is offering me an opportunity all the time to remember my purpose on earth, to remember what it is that I've chosen to be about now. And I'm either going to be about it totally or don't bother. If I've got this going on, if I've got A Course in Miracles, if I've got my spiritual determination as something that I'm about one day, and then something else that I think doesn't have any involvement with that the next, I need to really look at that. Because every opportunity, every moment in life is about God and nothing else. Nothing else. How do I know when I'm about that? How do I know when I'm true to that? Because my mind is at peace. I feel the flow of life in my fingertips, in my veins, in my bones. I feel its vibration resonating through my very being all day, every day. Whether I'm sitting in my shop, whether I'm at home eating a sandwich. It's the light within me that I am saying yes to 24/7. It's the light within me that I am giving my word to Jesus that I'm going to carry throughout the world, wherever I go, representing him as an extension of his offering, which is that I'm whole and perfect as God created me. That's all. Jesus is telling me I'm whole and perfect as God created me. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more and nothing less. If I'm not offering that to my world, then I need to look at that. I need to put my finger on my nose. If I see something other than that offered to me, I need to look at that. I need to put my finger on my nose. Whatever is coming at me is perfect. Whatever is being presented is perfect. Whatever is showing up for me, it's perfect. It cannot not be, because I'm the only one denying God's will. That doesn't mean it's not God's will. It just means that I'm the one denying it. Try to see everything that occurs in life, every single, even in this world which we call life, every single encounter, every embrace, every moment as a relationship that you're in with God. Because God is everything. God's not some man in the sky. God is your creative reality, your source, your creator, your father. And in this world, as above, so below. In this world, you can connect with that. You can feel that. You can be in the flow with that. And you can experience that both in time and out of time, if you so choose. I choose out of time. It's just my thing. I have this thing that occurs in my mind right about here somewhere. And when I open my mind, it just bursts out into radiant golden light. It's there all the time. I know it's there all the time because I always experience it. It hasn't left me. It's in you as well, but there's a veil, right? Jesus says the equality of the sonship, that's a true thing, but it doesn't imply homogeneity in time and space. And I like Ellen's little offering where she was having her dreams, and I've mentioned this one before. I know where she says we are all like happy children on a path together heading off in the same direction. But some of us are at the front and some of us are right at the back. In a certain sense, to you guys, it's going to appear as if I'm right at the front. But to me, I know I'm right at the back. I've already awakened from the dream. I've awakened from the dreaming in its entirety, experienced myself as one with God, and I'm back here for a second, holding the gate open. That's my job. And you guys are like kids in the playground. It's time to go into class and learn something, and you're running around trying to get the last, to hit the ball. The last one, just one more bowl of the ball, and then we'll go to class. It's like, you guys are just so beautiful. I don't even know what to do with that. You're so beautiful. I just want to hang on to one more grievance. I just want to validate one more idea that I think may hold some hope of happiness. If I can just, you guys are so beautiful. It's unbelievable what, You can't imprison the Son of God. It's impossible. You can believe you can. That's the power of your mind. You can believe that you've done something so horrendously horrible and awful that now you're suffering the effects of it, but you're not suffering the effects of it at all. The you that you really are has no clue about what seems to be going on here in time and space. The you that you really are is in eternity with God and knows only that. Now, did you all watch The Matrix? Did you do your homework?
That was the other group.
Oh, that was the other group?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. All right. So the other group's more special than this group. I gave them homework. No, that's cool. You're not in a body, Wendy. You're not in that body. You're not even in that room, in that frame of reference as a Wendy. The truth of you, the real you, the self, exists in eternity, whole and perfect. Okay? Having a little daydream for a second that it's actually a Wendy sitting in a lounge room attending a Zoom meeting. There is no world. There is no Wendy. You don't exist. You exist in truth, but not as a Wendy, not as a Heidi or a Donna or a Catherine or a Tina. God creates in its own image, which is formless. You are spirit. You are spirit, not flesh, not flesh. If God created you whole and perfect in eternity, that's the only place you could possibly be. God's will is done. The dream, the madness of the dream, the belief that you have thinking that you are here listening to a me, there's no such thing. But for a second, we're going to use the no such thing as a way to help us remember there's no such thing. It's like for a second, we're going to read these course lessons and apply them to the relationships in our lives that seem to be telling us that there is a bodily association, so we can bring about a shift in our consciousness that will reveal to us through divine intercession the nature of the truth of life, which is eternal. We're not coming back. We're not going to repeat this sojourn through time and space again in the dreaming. We're living, literally living in the resurrection now. All we got to do is say yes to it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm living in the resurrection. You can't not live in the resurrection. You get it? You may not be aware of what that is and how it's actually occurring. I had an interesting meeting with Ted the other night, like a week or so ago, and Annie can probably tell you about that one. But like Ted showed me some stuff that was actually going on as part of the attempt, the effort of salvation, which I was aware of stuff going on, but he showed me other stuff that was going on, and it blew my mind. It took me a minute to even be able to collect my thoughts about it. And that's something for me. I've had like 3 or 4 out-of-time experiences already. Every time it shocks me to my core. Every time it blows my mind like wide open at what actually, how tiny this earth, this little dreaming is compared to everything else. The dimensions within dimensions, the realms within realms, the worlds within worlds. My Father's house has many mansions. It's like this one is done. The door on this continuum, time and space, the third dimension, it's closed. All those that are being born into it now are part of the queue. All those that still seem to have a part to play, still seem to be having to be birthed into this planet or another planet on the third dimensional plane, they're part of a queue. Once that queue's done, that's it. There's no coming back. When you exit this time laughing, right, where's Dean? Hang on, I've got to find him on my thing. Dean loves exit laugh. There he is. Dean's the master of exit laughing. All right. When you get into the light, when you have a direct experience of light and you hear someone laughing, it'll be him. So, but you've got to really see that your participation in this, your participation in salvation, it's a done deal. It's a given thing. You can't fuck it up if you wanted to. You can't get it wrong because you're in it already. You're in it already, right? I love the idea, and this is where I wanted to get talking about salvation, not talking about doing the work and like forgiveness, because like that's, you know, we all know that's ugly and horrible and we got to do it anyway. But the good stuff, it's like, I'm going to tell you a story. It's like where God says your reward, Jesus says your reward is in heaven. All right. Now, I don't know what you think the idea of heaven is. To me, it's a state of mind on earth in a certain sense, but also it also transpires to non-earthly experiences. I just got to try and rebalance my thing here. Hang on. Whoop. It also transpires to non-earthly experiences, non-earthly domains might be better. Okay, whoop, there I go again. I'm on the tilt. So my father's house has many mansions. You're going to experience, right? Each and every one of you are going to experience out of body, out of time shifts. Okay. Now, these are occurring all the time naturally. At any given instant, you are actually, and if you want to put this on the atomic level or the subatomic level, at any given instant, you are disappearing and reappearing at a speed more profound, it's the speed of thought. Okay. The speed of light, which is slow, the speed of light is slow time speed, is where you operate from. All right. So we see everything as relative to the speed of light, let's say. We're just going to use that as an example. We see everything as relative to the speed of light. But beyond the speed of light, which human consciousness tells you there's nothing faster than the speed of light. Oh, yes, there is. There's the speed of thought. Okay. Now, life is thought. The speed of thought is not really a thing because all thought is simultaneous. All thought is happening at once. All life is going on all the time in this moment here and now. When you exist in your own frame, in this moment here and now, whatever is in your best interest and whatever experiences, revelations, etc., are waiting to occur for you so that to make sense of pursuing this further can dawn upon your mind. Okay, so one of the experiences has happened to me. I'll just get into this one briefly. I don't have a whole lot to talk about it with because it was kind of like one of the more brief ones I had, but there was a part in the course where I was reading again and again, and this has happened to me several times. I had it with anger when I was looking at my anger. I had you must look upon your anger and realize its full extent, right? Which is in the Fear of Redemption in the old blue book. But I also had another line that I would open the book and it would open at the same page, same line all the time. And I never marked my pages or anything like that. But it was always that line, look up and see your name written amongst the stars, right? And I would open the book and it would be like, look up. And this to me is a very beautiful part of the course, right? There's the ugly workbook side of it. And then there's the beautiful part of it where you're shown that there's more. It's just like, that's the part I want, but I've got to do this to get to that, right? So look up and see your name written amongst the stars. Now, I live out in the country here on a little acreage and there's nobody around. And at about 3 o'clock every morning, I usually wake up and need a pee. So I go outside under the lawn and I have a pee under the stars. And I always look up at the stars and think what a beautiful night it is or whatever. When I started opening the book, and I hadn't opened the book for a long time, but when I started opening the book and I kept reading that same line again and again, I would look up at the stars with the direct intent and purpose to try and see my name written amongst the stars. And I'm like, is that my name? Is that, and you know how like in star signs, they take a bunch of like random stars and go, there's a fish and there's a goat and there's a whatever, and they call it something, right? I was looking for those stars with my name. Right now, I'm kind of assuming that my name in reality is not Dave. It's probably more like an angelic name, like Davina or something. I've got no idea. But I was looking for something that looked like a name amongst the stars, and I'm looking every night, looking. And I got to the point where I kind of gave up. I'd had so many nights out there peeing on the lawn and looking up at the stars and nothing. And I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm looking for here. And I had a moment with Jesus where I spoke to him and said, Jesus, I don't know what my name amongst the stars means. I don't know how I'm supposed to factor this in, nothing. And I think it was the next night after that when I was having a chat, or a couple of nights later anyway, I woke up in a cold sweat. Like I just woke up, there was something had happened in my sleep and I was like shocked awake, you know, like when all of a sudden, if there was a really loud noise in the house, you would asleep and you go, whoa, what's that? I woke up in one of these horrific kind of moments of just like gasping for breath. I was sweating and everything. And I woke up with the recollection of a dream that I'd had, which I thought was a dream that I'd had of being naked in a dark place with 3 or 4 beings. Right now, prior to this experience, I guess I just convinced myself that when I would leave my body, I would see something that I would recognize as an angel or an ascended master or something like that would be there. Like Jesus says, this was a shock because these beings were about 1.5 feet taller than me and they were blue and translucent. And I could see right through them to whatever was on the other side. And they had pinpoints of light throughout their form, which were like vibrating or glowing at different things. And in my mind, this is a dream, right? I'm waking up recalling this vivid dream I'd had, and it was one of the most vivid dreams. And all I remember of that encounter was that one of them looked at me and told me, we will come and get you when it's time. Okay, we'll come and get you when it's time. And that was the end of the dream. And I'd woken up in this state and I couldn't get back to sleep. I was totally shattered. Something in my consciousness was like a whole nother door on something had opened. And I was desperately trying to convince myself it was just a dream. Part of my mind was saying to me, it's just a dream, it's just a dream. But there was this feeling I had that maybe it wasn't just a dream. All right. This was unlike any other experience on the spiritual thing that I'd ever had. All right. Usually every experience I've had either reflects the light directly or some angelic or divine kind of thing. This was more like extraterrestrial sort of thing. And it threw me for a 6. It was totally didn't make sense of anything. Right. A couple of nights later, I was out on the lawn again and I was having a pee and I looked up, just looking for my name amongst the stars, I guess. I looked up and for some reason I just said, where are you? And I said it out aloud without even thinking about it. And these 2 lights came on directly above my head up in the sky. This is the middle of the night, right? 2 lights came on and lit me up like a football field. The whole thing lit me up. And then they went off and then they came on again. And then they went off and that was it. And I was like frozen to the spot. I like standing out there in the lawn completely just, I couldn't move, like when you're totally terrified of something and you're frozen to the spot for a second. And then I turned slowly away and I walked back into the house and went back to bed and I pulled the covers over my head. And I remember it really shell-shocked me. The whole thing really shell-shocked me. And I realized that the dream that I'd had actually was an experience. It was something that occurred that was real and they were above my house. And that was a few years ago now. But following that experience, okay, following those two things occurring, I got on the internet and I'm typing in blue beings, blue aliens, biblical blue beings, you know, see if there's any biblical references, looking desperately for some kind of reference point. And I found a lot of pictures of blue aliens and whatever. None of them were them. None of the pictures that I could find were them. And one day I was at my mother's house, and which is about 1,000 kilometers from here. And she was talking, she had some friends over. They were talking about this guy down the road from them who used to work at Mount Stromlo Observatory, which is in Australia. Mount Stromlo is who NASA go to when something disappears off their radar. And then we have the giant observatory here and it picks it up down here in the Southern Hemisphere and they interact with NASA. He used to be one of the technicians there, this guy. And my mother was telling her friend this story about these blue aliens that they'd been communicating with or something. And my ears just pricked up. And I said to my mother, I have to meet this guy. We have to go to this guy's place and like immediately, whatever. And she said, well, he lives around the corner, but we can't go there now. And I said, no, I have to go. I have to go. So I went around the corner. She gave me the address, and his wife was out watering the garden. I said, I have to see your husband, you know, and I'm shortening this a bit. I said, I have to see your husband. And his house was like every kind of psycho alien tinfoil hat wearing house. He had radar dishes on the roof. He had antennas. He had stuff all through his garden. And I looked at his garden, and I knew that was the right house. So she said to me, come back in the morning. So my wife and I went back at about 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And his wife was out in the garden again. She said, you can go in, he's awake. And we went in there, and I was bursting with energy to try and tell this guy. And he told me about several profound experiences that he'd had, not that he was party to, but that he'd had in conversations with other people in NASA and whatever, about fifth dimensional beings and all these sorts of things. And this is like how you work out your own salvation, right? None of it has any reality, right? But you have to take it as it comes. So in this, I was looking at the idea of look up and see your name written amongst the stars, which turned out to be a reference for another interpretation in my mind of my father's house has many mansions. Okay. Which, how can a house have mansions within it? Right? There are dimensions within dimensions and worlds within worlds. And as I pursued this further and further in speaking with him, little pennies would drop, and bits of the conversation that I'd had with those blue beings would enter into my mind like being jigged in my memory. And eventually I'd sort of settled on the idea that we'll come and get you when it's your time is another step out of time. All right. Now, one of the things that I knew much earlier on was that A Course in Miracles is just a beginning. All right. Of course, it says that even in there. It's just a beginning. There are many stages of transformation. There are many stages of salvation and the atonement that are actually in orchestration now, of which we're unaware. All right. One of those stages, imagine the third dimension is like coming down a staircase to the very bottom of the staircase to the third dimension, right at the bottom. And then you have your realization, your enlightenment, and then you have to make your way back up again. Right? Making your way back up again looks like, or for me anyway, going through the passage of dimensional shift, right? Which is in alignment with shift in consciousness. Now, if you think of the human association as a dark light association, we're condensed here as much as we possibly can be. You can't get any lower on the spectrum than the human experience, right? It says in the Bible, even the angels are envious of man because man can experience union with God at this level, in this place. That's why you're here, to experience union with God, your enlightenment. It's not something in 15 lifetimes that might happen to you. The Course has come so to collapse the cause and effect relationship of the time frame you find yourself in, so you can bring that to you here and now, which is why we're practicing the here and the now. That experience I had of those blue beings is like being shown what's next, right? So I cannot not be offering it to you now if it weren't a true thing. And one of the things that Ted told me about, and I questioned him on this when he was telling me, one of the things that Ted told me was that there are battalions of angels surrounding the earth. Battalions was the word he used, and battalions is the word I questioned. I said, battalions? That sounds a bit military, right? But it wasn't the military reference that he was trying to get across to me. It was the military precision of the orchestration of the particulars of your salvation. It's like it is so pinpoint accurate. You have no clue, like what was revealed to me when I spoke to him, you have no clue how not one leaf has been left unturned. There is nothing left to chance. not one single thing. The fix is in. You cannot not experience or have your experience. You cannot not awaken, because not only are you already awake, but because the plan for your salvation is so perfect that I've already accepted atonement for you in the interim. And just as you will accept atonement for those in your dream in the interim, I don't have a choice but to see you as whole and perfect. I know that in the frame of time, that's not how we actually see ourselves now, but I don't have the luxury of that choice. Does that make sense? I'm already awake. I've seen it. I've seen you in eternity. I'm back here in time for a second telling you, hey, I've seen you in eternity. Let's hurry up, dust off your sandals. Let's get the hell out of here. Look at this planet. Look at everything that's going on. Do you really want to still save the world? There are wonders and dimensions and worlds beyond compare. Paradise is just this ever-increasing nature of the journey of the soul that, as you become aware of it through revelations and experiences of non-temporal self, it's like you literally don't know what to do with it. You literally cannot impart that kind of knowledge in the world in a way where if you were talking to just somebody who had no clue about anything spiritual, it would be of any good to them. I know this is totally useful to you guys, because at some point, you're not going to be able to deny what I'm telling you. There's no way you can walk out of this room and say, I never, ever heard anyone tell me that they were enlightened. I never, ever heard anyone tell me directly to my face that they'd seen God. You can't tell yourselves that, because I'm telling you it and I'm standing by what I'm telling you. Now it's up to you. In all the witness you have to the reality and the horrors and the suffering and the pain that seems to be taking place out there in the world, I'm telling you, there is no world. Now it's up to you. How long, Holy Son of God? How long? This is the journey of your soul. You're not a body doomed to die. This is the journey of your soul. It's happening to you right now. You can't rewind it. You can't start it later. This is the journey of your soul, Heidi. I'm reminding you. And as I remind you, reminding myself, this is the journey of your soul. Your soul is on a journey. You've arrived at this place in time and space, in this third dimension, where you've got one of these vessels, and now you're learning how to use it and what it's actually for. Now you're learning that you have a true purpose, a real reason for waking up in the morning. And it's to forgive. It's to forgive. You know the tricky thing? You don't even have to forgive. It's not even up to you. You just have to be willing to forgive. It's like, can it be made any easier, Wesley? You just have to be willing. You don't even have to know how. Just be willing. God will do the rest. I'm looking forward to laying this vessel aside. I guarantee you, I'm totally looking forward to it. It's sticky. It's like you got to wash it all the time. You got to keep putting food in it and wiping the other end where the food comes out. It's disgusting. It's a very, very poor environment for a child of God. Stop trying to glorify it and make it into something. It's not anything. The old man used to say, put clothes on it, put food in it, and that's it, and then forget about it. That was about it. Anyway, let's do a little light session. Lisa's ready to open a portal. You ready? I want all you guys to put your microphone. Everyone turn your voice on, your microphone. Where's Tina gone? I'm just going to see if I can do my...
I'm here.
Okay, give me a second. I'm just going to try and put my computer back on. I've got some charge in now. I like to be able to see all you guys on one page. I've gotten used to it now. One of the things too that I read, and I've given this book away, the Book of the Earth, the Urantia book. I don't recommend that you get it, so don't rush all out and buy it. And it's very hard to buy. And the Keys of Enoch as well. But the Book of the Earth has some beautiful stuff about the Bardo states and beyond. And you will have an experience of that. I guarantee you. There are set experiences. There are set things that will be shown to you in Revelation. I can't tell you what they are because they're individual to you. It's very personal. But I can tell you that there are specific packages of information that will be given to you, which will allow you to make sense of your own salvation so that you can begin to process things more efficiently and more transcendentally, I guess, right? So you can begin to see the whole in a more altruistic way rather than having to continually apply lessons and things, because that's a real pain in the bum, right? You got to get to that point where you're no longer having to sit down and consciously do the work in your mind, where you're no longer having to consciously sit down and review your day about, oh, this grievance and that grievance I need to forgive. All of that stuff will become automatic, okay? And the revelations and the guidance that you get regarding them and things like that will help you to transit to a place where you're no longer concerned about how that automatic processing is going to occur. And it'll help to relieve you from wanting to put your own 2 cents worth in and try to pick up the paddle again of your own canoe and paddle it yourself, right? That's for Dean. So I'm just going to try and because
Hey Dave, do you want me to show them the picture of the blue people?
Please.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to pin myself and I'll turn my camera off.
Yeah, I drew that like literally days after the experience because I had to try and get it in my head. There you go. 2016 that occurred. I put 9th dimensionals on there. I'm not sure why I put 9th dimensionals, but anyway, whatever that means. But that's I did that on my iPad. I knew I had to put it down before I lost the image of it. And they're not particularly accurate. Like they're accurate in a certain sense, but they have no genitals and they're translucent, but I didn't get the translucence down particularly great. All right, I'm just going to log back in.
I'll drop it in the chat so people can take a.
Yeah,
it's really
drop it
tiny.
in the chat. Yeah, drop it in the chat and guys can have a look at it. I just want to find our, there we are. Oh my God. Somebody's yawning. I can hear you all now. Hang on, I'm just going back on my computer. I'm just going to log out here. Okay. Back. You guys, can you guys see me there? Yep. You can talk now because Bethleen, Dean, Kevin, Ida, Catherine, can you turn on your microphones? So I don't know where Tina's gone. Tina, are you still there?
She's behind the blue people.
Oh, I can't see the blue people. You can turn that off now, the blue people. That's weird. Oh, there she's back. So there are many things like the thing that occurred in and I made a video actually also. I had to go down the beach about 3 weeks after that experience because it just wasn't getting grounded in me what had happened. I wasn't dealing with it well, and I had to go down to the beach and make a video just to get out the thoughts in my head to see what was going on. And I'll post that video on my Facebook page later. It's back from 2016. I'll find it and post it up again. But what happens is when you have a revelation, when you have a moment of being out of your body, right, which is what revelation, it induces total suspension from fear, right? You cannot experience that in the body because the body is the symbol of fear, right? You have a revelation. It's so out of accord with everything that you're familiar with. It literally shakes all the apples off the tree. Everything that you think is totally just shattered, and all your ideas about angels, about God, about everything are totally shook up, right? Which is why you can't really hold onto any specific frame of reference about God or anything. Even in this, you have to let God be the great unknown. All your past learning about God matters not, because the journey goes forward all the time. Every time something's revealed to you, it's going to be because you've been willing to let go of everything you've learned in the past and enter into this moment fully, where what's useful to you can be revealed to you to help you ascend or to help you atone. Does that make sense? Dean, can you turn on your microphone, please? I can hear him. Anyway, so it's not going to, there we go. It's not going to be too long. It's like Dean's already having experiences of the light. Okay. Dean's already had a moment. Dean and I have been working closely together for about 1.5 years, nearly 2 years now. Dean's already had a moment of seeing Jesus and the old man in our session room, or was it just Jesus? Or was it one or the other?
And the old man, yeah, Jesus and the old man.
Jesus and the old man materializing before him in the session room. All right. I saw them as well, but it's like for someone who's been practicing this for that little amount of time to have an experience or a revelation like that and to be shown all his family who've passed on, that's an incredible occurrence. It's like something occurs in the mind that is done with the world. When Jesus says, give up the world and follow me, all we're ever doing is truing up to saying yes. All we're ever really doing is truing up to saying, yes, Jesus, here I am. I'm coming. I'm following you. All right. And seeing where our falsity lies in that. I'm saying, yes, I want to follow you, but I just have a little thing I want to do here, blah, 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 whatever. All right. When you finally have no value left in the world, your yes will be complete. But if you see the loss of that value as you've given it now as a sacrifice, salvation will have to wait until you no longer perceive it as a threat. All right. I'm telling you, it's not a threat. Reality is absolutely everything you could have ever asked for, and it's the only thing that is going to fulfill that inner emptiness. My friend Josie used to call it the God hole. It's the only thing that's going to fulfill the God hole. Okay. But everybody's, I don't know how to talk about this part. Everybody's transformation is individual and personal. Some of you guys are like athletic sprinters and you're going for the finish line as fast as you can. And some of you are sort of like still in training. Some of you are like you know, doing the whole complete wrong sports event. But at least we're all on the field. At least we're all on the same field together, and we're just sort of all going, hey, over here, do this, do this, run along here, get to the finish line. And you'll be like, I like the sand pit. I like the long jump. It's got a soft landing. But whatever. All right. So the revelations and everything that occurs is to help you line up to the finish line, to help you get there. All right. To the here and the now, to the here and the now, here and the now. When you go through the mind training of the course, we're letting go of listening to that voice that speaks for denial, speaks for destruction, death, and the things of the world. We're not interested in that anymore. Okay? We're letting go of listening to that voice. In our willingness to let go of listening to that voice, we leave a clear space. A clear slate where we refuse to write anything on it. We refuse to put another thought on that slate. That slate is for the Holy Spirit to write on. That slate is for God to write his thoughts on, which we share with him. Okay? So that's the purpose of our meditation. When we enter into our meditation in a minute, I want you to try and get a sense of leaving the slate blank. Okay, staying in that still place in your mind. And when interrupting thoughts seem to come in, just notice them and then let them go again and bring your mind right back to here I am God, here I am Lord, whatever that is for you. Don't use my words if they don't feel right. Just use whatever. Okay. Those last lessons in the course where it says, now we say God is, and then we cease to speak. If that's where you want to be at with this, that's fine. Okay. So just take a minute, take a few deep breaths, sit up nice and straight. Don't slouch back on a bed or whatever. Sit up straight. Make yourself present. Breathe. Take a deep breath, John. Close your eyes. And just for a moment, visualize on the ground in front of you a golden circle of light. When Jesus decided it was time for him to challenge the deceiver, he went into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights and drew his circle in the sand. And he refused food and water. And he knew that he was either going to lay his body down or he was going to confront the demons within him and heal his mind through the grace of God. This is that for you. This is exactly that for you. Imagine your circle in the sand, golden, radiant light circle. The purpose of stepping into that circle is healing. That's the only purpose it has. When you step into that circle in a minute, I want you to allow yourself just to feel if you've got a grievance or a problem or a worry, something that's plaguing you. Let yourself feel it. And then when you think that you're at the bottom of it, when you think that you've got it all, when it feels like you've got it all, give it to God. Offer it to the Holy Spirit. Take this from me. Heal my mind of this. Not about the words. It's about feeling it in your heart. Here I am, Lord. I'm here for healing. I want an experience. All this grievance, all this problem, all this situation is in the way of my experience. It's preventing me from being a conduit. It's preventing me from being a vessel. It's a blockage. Okay? Look at it honestly. Go to the place where it is emotionally. Let yourself be in touch with it and offer it up. You ready? Breathe. Donna, breathe. That's it. Yes. Take a deep breath. Michelle, breathe. John, right down into your gut. Yes. Dean, good. Dina, good. Yes. Breathe. Kevin, breathe. Feel it. Ida, breathe. Feel that breath going in. Connect with it. And then let it out. Here I am, Lord. And then when you're ready, step into the circle. When you're ready, step into the circle. I'm here for healing. I'm here to be healed of this. Willing to release this. Yes. Good. 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 Yes. Yes, Lisa. Good. Here I am, Lord. Heidi, go deeper. Ida, go deeper. John, feel. 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 Don't let yourself off the hook. Don't go astral. Stay in your body, John. Feel this. Feel the presence of God within you. It's powerful. Yes. Good. Good. Yes. Good. Yes. Catherine, feel. Go deeper. Stay in your body. This isn't about becoming transcendent. Wendy, go on. Old women in there wanting to scream. Breathe. Bethleen, yes. Yes. Good. Come on, Heidi. Push. Push. Here I am, Lord.
Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Here I am, Lord.
Lord, take me outside.
Feel it. Wesley, feel it. Heidi, lift your face up. Lift your face up. Look up. Here I am, Lord. Yes. Yes.
Here I am, Lord.
Yes.
Here, Lord. Here.
Yes.
Here I am.
Here. Here.
Thank you.
Here.
Take this from me. Take this from me.
I'm here.
Thank
Good. Heidi.
I don't want to.
Heidi by name, Heidi by hate, nature. Ready? Breathe. Eat up, breathe. Kevin, breathe. Got to give up the world, Kev. You ready? You got to give it up. Wendy, you got to give it up. You can't fix it. You can't work it out. You can't get a better version of it. It's always the same shit in a different bag. Same dog, different collar. Breathe. Tina, feel. Michelle, feel. You know when I put my hand on your chest last week, Michelle? Feel that. You ready? I'm with you right now.
You found me.
Feel it.
Found
Feel it. Yes.
me.
Here, Lord.
Breathe. There it is. There it is.
Here.
Here I am, Lord.
You found me.
Yes, Catherine. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
A little deeper. You got it. There it is. Here I am, Lord.
There I am, Lord. Here it is.
Here I am, Lord.
There I am, Lord.
Here I am.
The love of God is within you now. The
Right
love of
here
God
with
is
you.
within you now. Feel.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Feel as emotions. What you feel as denial is the love of God misinterpreted by your ego. Don't listen to that voice. What you feel as emotions is the love of God misinterpreted by your ego, which you insist on listening to. Don't listen to it. Feel it. Feel it. Yes, Wendy. Feel it. Feel it there. Go on. Push. Push. Be determined. Determined. I'm determined. Tell yourself. Shut your mind.
Determined.
Breathe.
Lord.
You got to activate yourself in this. You got to activate yourself. Here I am.
Lord.
The whole of the giving up, the whole of the giving up of the world has to be in your declaration of surrender. The whole of the giving up of the world, whatever that is to you, has to be in that moment of approach to God. Here I am, Lord. I'm done. I'm done with this.
I'm here, Lord. Done with
Show me, lead me, teach me.
Done with this. Done with this.
I am, Lord.
Good.
Here I am, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Want this anymore.
You guys are so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Feel it, Heidi. Feel it.
Thank you.
Thank
Go
you,
on
thank
deeper. You're on the edge.
Oh,
That's it.
It's okay.
Breathe.
It's all been good.
Wendy, same thing.
you.
Ah,
Go deeper. Connect with it more. Connect with how you truly feel. Connect with how you're truly feeling. Wrath,
serious, that's what's
the anger, the hatred,
Lord. Here.
the frustration, the emptiness, the loneliness, the
Oh.
futility. Connect with that. Feel it. Those things don't exist in God. Those things do not exist in God. That is what your ego is telling you that feeling is.
God.
it's not real.
That is what your ego is trying to convince you that is within you.
Thank you, God.
That you are empty, that you are worthless,
No,
that you are nothing.
not
Never
true.
been real.
Do not
real.
listen to that voice. You are a child of God.
Only you
Not
are
true.
real. Only we.
Holy child
Give
of God.
all that to
Every
the Holy Spirit and He will reinterpret it for you. Give all of that to the Holy Spirit. Here I am, Lord.
I am, Lord. Holy child of God.
yes.
Holy child of God. Holy,
Yes.
pure,
Breathe,
holy,
John. Breathe.
pure,
Peter,
holy, and
breathe.
innocent.
Here I am, Lord.
Feel.
Take me as I am.
Guaranteed by God.
Yes.
You got it. You got it.
Guaranteed.
Oh.
Here I
by
am,
God.
Lord. Take me as I am.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You got it all.
Here I am, Lord. Take
Yes,
me as
Heidi, good.
So much.
Here I am, Lord.
Work
Yes.
Take
every
me as
step
I
of
am.
the journey.
Oh,
Yes.
dear Lord.
Every step.
Feel it.
Here I am, Lord. Take
I
me as
didn't know.
I am.
Yes. Go deeper, Doug. Go deeper.
Now
Here I am,
Breathe.
Lord.
Joy and peace
Take
abide
me as
in
I am.
me. I and my Father are
Breathe.
one.
It's not about the words. It's not about the words. It's about the heart space. Ida, breathe.
Here.
Whatever
I'm
you're
ready.
doing in there in your mind, stop
Take
doing
me.
it.
Take me.
Oh,
Ida,
Take
whatever you're doing there, stop
me.
doing it.
Take
Let
me.
go.
Me.
Let go.
Take me.
Let go. Michelle,
Take
let
me.
go. Dean, let
I'm
go.
home, Father. I'm here, Father.
Take me, Lord.
Wendy, let go. Let go.
My Lord,
Yes.
holy.
I don't want to be here alone.
I don't want
want
this
to be
world.
here alone.
Breathe.
I don't want to be here alone.
choose joy.
No,
Breathe.
that's
I
not
don't want to
true.
be here alone anymore.
Thank you for
I
joy.
don't want to be here alone anymore.
I am. I am. I've always been
Breathe.
joy.
I don't want to be here alone anymore.
I never knew.
Breathe.
I never knew.
Feel.
Ooh.
Give it to God. Give it to God. Take this from me.
All of it.
Take this from me, Jesus. Take this.
Yes. Good.
Thank you.
Breathe. Yes. Come on, Heidi. Offer it up. That's it. Go on. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go with you.
I've been waiting for you.
You ready, Catherine?
Everything.
I've been waiting.
Feel heart and soul. Heart and soul. Okay to feel. It's okay to let all that stuff out of the box, all that pain, all that suffering. This is a safe place. Michelle, breathe. Don't go astral. Don't go transcendent. Stay in your body. Get grounded. Go deep, deep, deep. It's a physical transformation. Yes. Good. 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 Thank you. Yes. Feel it. Bethleen, good. Good. Yes. The purpose of this circle is healing. All healing is of the prayer of the heart is for the healing of the mind that believes it is separate from God. The prayer of the heart is the healing of the mind that believes it is separate from God. Breathe, Wendy, breathe. Focus, Wendy, focus harder.
Don't want to be separate anymore.
Focus harder. There you go.
I don't want this.
That moment.
Don't want to be
Focus
separate
harder,
anymore.
Wendy.
I don't
Be
want to be
more
separate.
determined.
Take me.
Never separate.
Take me.
Never
Yes.
want separate.
Me, Jesus. I don't want to be separate.
Hold yourself accountable, Wendy. Hold yourself accountable. This is your transformation.
Myself
Push
to
that
you.
fucking thing. Push it.
I love
My Father, one.
I give
Don't
myself
listen to those thoughts. Don't wander off. You guys are far too tolerant of mind wandering. You ready? Here.
Father, one.
Yes. Wendy, you ready? I'm going to open my mind and I'm going to come and visit you. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh.
I think Dean intercepted that one. Breathe.
Oh. I'm here, Lord. Here I am, Lord.
Here I am. You ready?
Here I
Do
am.
it again.
Here I am. Here I am. Here I am.
Ah. Breathe. Yes. Good. Good. Yes, Ida, feel. Ida. Earth to Ida. Feel. Let yourself go to that place, the dark place. Self, go to that fearful place. This is a journey into fear, not away from it. This is finding our blocks, not avoiding them. Let yourself go there. That's better. Now stay there in that place. Stay there in that place. Feeling. And when you've got all you can, when you're feeling it as much as you possibly can, give it to God.
Yes, I am.
Breathe. Give all your pain, all your suffering, and all your joy to God. Everything. Yes, Catherine, good. Offer it to the Holy Spirit. Father, here I am. Breathe. Pick on you for a minute.
There I am.
Breathe.
Yes, I am.
You can't work it out. You can't work this out, Wendy. It's purely heart space. This is purely the heart space. This is the prayer of the heart. The prayer of the heart.
Need you, Holy Spirit.
Let it be as painful as it has to be. That's only what your ego tells you it is. Let it be as painful as it has to be.
Yeah.
That's the damage that you think you've
I was
inflicted.
nothing.
It's an illusion. It's a lie. It's not true.
It had nothing.
You can't upset eternity at all.
Have any more nothing if I tried.
Breathe.
It was that nothingness. The nothingness that was so
Good. Go into it, Doug. Go into the nothingness. Let yourself go there.
It was the nothingness
That's the doorway to salvation. That nothingness,
that
go
nothing
there.
was going to kill me. It was like death.
It won't kill you. It won't kill you. You'll find
it
life.
Was like death. It was like
you will find life. Have faith. Have faith.
I have faith.
That place you fear to go is where you have to go.
I know it.
There's an idea yourself, and you can do it yourself. Into the void, into the hole, into the emptiness. Here I come, Lord. Here I am. I made death. I made emptiness. I made nothingness. Now I'm going to go there. Now I'm going to take responsibility for what it is I think I made, for how it is.
Jesus, I made this death and I made this nothingness.
It's not about the words, Doug. It's not about the words. It's about the feeling. This is the prayer of the heart. Here I am, Lord. Words can't help you now. Words cannot help you now. Feel it. Yes. Ida, feel it. Feel. Feel. Good.
It's from
Good.
me. Take this
Good.
from me. I can't do it anymore. Take me as I am. Jesus.
Violin for Doug.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Good. Breathe. Stay focused. Stay focused. Here and now. Here and now. Here I am, Lord. Stay in that place.
Here I am, Lord.
In the present. Stay in the present. Ah. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes. Whoever that was. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Father. Good. 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 Bethleen, good. It's literally your pain that you use as the springboard out of time. You think you don't have any pain, you are kidding yourself. The body is the manifestation of what that pain is. The body is the symbol of denial. Whilst you still find yourself with the body, there is still plenty of juice in the tank to use for salvation. Breathe. Yes. Feel it. Yeah. Good. Close your eyes. Feel. Close your eyes. Feel. Let yourself go to that emptiness. Let yourself be sucked in there. Let yourself go into the void. What feels like death and terminality and finality. There is no such thing in God. There is no such thing in God. There is no void in God. You made that. You invented that. And you use it as a weapon against yourself.
Yes.
Go there. Look at it. It doesn't exist. It's a ghost in the ghost train. Stop trying to hide your eyes from the ghost in the ghost train, because you've given that ghost all the meaning it has for you. Take your hand away from your eyes and you'll see it's just a rubber skeleton or a sheet over a balloon. But it feels terribly fearful when you go through for the first time and you don't know that's what it is. Breathe. Let yourself void. Let yourself feel the void. That is literally your way out of this. That is literally your awakening waiting to happen. The emptiness, the void, the nothingness. That's how you came in. That's how you go out. You're strong enough, and when you have enough faith, that's the place you'll go. When you have enough faith, that you'll go. You'll be like, fuck it, I'm going into the void. Holy Spirit, I don't know how to do that, but I'm willing. Holy Spirit, guide me. Holy Spirit, take me. Whatever. It'll be the prayer of the heart. I'm done with this suffering, pain, death, and denial.
Let's go.
Yes, good. Yes, Wesley. Yes. Yes, Heidi. Ida, don't get transcendent. Stay in your body. Feel. Breathe right down, right in. Fill your lungs. Push your stomach out. Breathe in. Get a full breath. Connect totally. Whatever that means to you, connect totally. Feel it. Feel the connection with the universe. Feel the connection with God. The love of God is not absent. You're just choosing to experience it that way. Yes. Michelle, come on. Ready? Dean.
I praise you, God.
Breathe.
Praise you, God.
Yes.
Praise God.
Wendy. Look down. 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 Breathe. Exactly right there. Stay there. Don't adjust to that place. Good. Feel that. Right there where you're at now. Feel it. Look down. Look down. There. Breathe. Here I am, Lord. Catherine, that's good. Quite lovely, really. Nice. There's honesty there. There's honesty. Wendy, do you live far from Tina? I don't know where. I know America's a big place, but
Tina lives in LA.
LA.
Yeah.
is that far away?
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive.
A day's drive.
Yeah, probably 6-8 hours, something like that.
I think you should go and hang out together, you guys.
Yeah.
Love to.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think so. I'm just getting that vibe, like maybe for a couple of weeks, just go and hang out together and chill. Yeah. It'd be cool to see you both in Dear One's room there. I know there's an orchestration to this, that in the saying yes, something else happens. You know?
Yeah.
All right, good. We'll leave it at that. Good, Catherine, that's beautiful. Thank you. Sometimes we're so resistant, you know, to actually wanting to feel anything. And the reason that is because we actually already know how deep that river runs. We know how deep our denial goes. We know that there is this idea of a void. Doug, that's, you felt it. There is this idea of a crossing or a portal or a darkness that we have to confront. It doesn't actually exist in you anymore. It's been healed in the resurrection. But you still believe it's there because you know you made it. You know you made the choice for it. And it was the first choice you ever made out of free will. And it was terrifying. First choice you made of free will was to be separate from God. You didn't know what that was. You're not guilty of it. You're just like a child. God gave you a chemistry set and you blew yourself to oblivion. You didn't follow the instructions.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. It's the biggest oops there is. Now we're learning to follow the instructions. Now we're learning to listen, learn, and do. We're learning to allow the Holy Spirit's voice to guide us back to that place where we think we made the original error. It's the last place we want to go. It's the last thing we're ever gonna do, literally. If it was up to you, you would never confront the darkness within yourself. If it was up to you, you would never face the void. You would find every spiritual reason why you didn't have to do that. But finally, here we are, and I'm telling you, you have to do that. And I'm laughing because I know there's nothing in it. Jesus talks about it in the Course as one tiny moment of terror, where you think that separation came to take the place of God, or time came to take the place of God. One tiny moment of terror, but it seems incredibly real to you. It's like a child that loses its parents in a supermarket. It's terrifying. That's the terror that you're going back into, that terror of abandonment and loss and emptiness and being expelled, if you like, the fall from grace, the original error. The memory of that is in you, but just beyond that memory is the memory of God. Just beyond that darkness, that void, that emptiness, that nothingness is the memory of God. Step by step, we are rebuilding our faith so we can cross that void, so we can go into that place, so we can take that journey of fear to its ultimate conclusion and activate the memory that exists in our mind now. We are awakenings, little awakenings, ever awakening. We're playing our part perfectly. We are playing our part perfectly. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. So Wendy and Tina, you guys hang out together. Two little angels. That'll be Ida. Where are you? You look like you're in a box or something, in a cardboard box. The ceiling is very low to your head. Are you in a boat or something? Did you finally get your yacht? Is that why the ceiling's right there near your head?
No, that's my bed. This is a pod.
Oh, it's a pod. I'll just nod and pretend I know what that is, but I can get an idea.
I'll take the yacht thing. Yeah, so I'm in my yacht.
There you go. It's already happened. Good. All right. Any questions? Lisa, any questions? I feel like you had, no. I feel like there's a something there. One of God's quiet ones. Wendy, are we going to do our thing today, or is that tomorrow? You want to do that? I mean, either way, I don't care.
Either way.
I'm kind of like feeling like I would like a sandwich about now.
Tomorrow.
All right. After session tomorrow, we'll do that.
Okay.
So, anyone got a question? Nothing? Good. Everyone having fun? Like this really picks up its pace when stop fearing the healing. Stop being afraid of your emotionality. Okay. This really starts to steamroll, start to go into things. But you'll find that if nothing seems to be going on for you, you need to really look at what's going on for you. You need to look at your yes. Okay. If it seems like you're not undergoing moments of radical realignment and healing and having miracles and things happen in the day, all right, you need to look at it. It's like, all right, have I built myself a comfort zone? Am I saying the words but not really connecting with it? Am I telling myself this is what I want to be about, but somewhere maybe I have another agenda? Okay, because it's all or nothing. And the ego loves to have these like little secret agendas. You know, it's getting late, I've got to get to bed. Who is the I that's got to get to bed? To make us stay in the session room for hours, and we'd all be there grumbling, our stomachs would be hungry for lunch, and he'd be like, you guys actually think your bodies, you know, you'd be busting to go to the toilet, and he'd call you out. He'd be like, don't you get up to go to the toilet, you stay right there and do the light session. And it'd be like hours and hours would go by, and you would have to literally push through those blockages, through those ideas. I would tell myself sometimes, oh my God, when I would feel hungry, because like he would every day nearly, he would talk for 4 or 5 hours, whatever, and just he was like a veritable fountain of salvation. I would be starving all the time, and I would have to tell myself, oh, I'm so full, I could never eat another thing. To try and stay, I would have to trick my mind, you know, and then it would pass. Or going to the toilet, you know, you just tell yourself, I don't need to go to the toilet. It's like this moment is the moment that is important. That moment that I'm going to the toilet, that I want to go and get something to eat or drink or whatever, that's the moment that my ego is telling me to leave the room. That's the moment that my ego is trying to convince me I'm a body. Let me just stay still for a minute. Let me just be still and let something else happen. It's always, always, always about the moment. It's always, always, always about being present with self. Of course, you've got to go to the toilet. Of course, you're going to put food in your stomach. But why am I really leaving the room? Why am I really telling myself I'm tired? What is it I don't want to hear? You know, and I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying anyone's trying to get out of this, but it's like, apart from the fact that we're all trying to get out of it. Me, Lord, why me? This bloody Course in Miracles. How did it ever come into my presence? Don't worry, I threw the book away many times. Burnt one, used one for toilet paper. I had the biggest tantrum with There Is No World you can imagine. It wasn't pretty. But eventually you accept it. You realize you've got to do the work. If you don't, it's just going to keep showing up. All right, peace. I love you guys. No questions. There's no questions. That's
Thank you,
good.
brother.
Thank you, Dave.
No
Thank you,
worries.
Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Heidi. Heidi, I love you. I know I pick on you a bit. I know. This is our thing.
Thank you.
From the cat to the cat loves me. All right. How do I get out of here? I'm going for a sandwich. All right.
Love you all.
Wendy.
Bye.
Night.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh.
Thank you.
Laughing. Kevin, Don, Michelle. Let's end this world in laughter. Bye, sis.
Be beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pull the plug.
Here it is. Bam.
Bye.